What's up guys, Subzeric here, back for another VOD review. Today, we're doing a first time ever VOD review for a player. This is Vakio. So if I move my head here, you can see he's sitting at almost 1600 LP on the BR server. He's a Brazilian player. And then grinding out the NA server, so he's sitting about 700. I think by now he's more like 900 LP. He's been kind of smurfing it up on NA away from his home server. So it's always fun to VOD review some international players and also players who are fantastic in their own home region, then come to NA and then play a lot. Is he doing the 6-7 thing, or maybe he's just okay? Never mind. The main reason I want to VOD review Vakio is because he took an augment that I really want to talk about, and he takes this augment a lot actually to play one specific comp, and I feel like it is very, very good information to have to know how to play this comp from specifically this spot here. So start off here. We have a Jarvan pair here. We have a speedy double kill. The big plate is kind of interesting, but I mean, none of these I'm really jumping for joy with. I'm not that excited about any of these, but he rerolls right here and he sees Seraphim's staff here and scouts the lobby to see, is there anybody playing Sona reroll? Sees basically nobody in Sona reroll here. Thinks a while about the speedy double kill, but then it's just going to be a snap up of the Seraphim's staff here and is just going to make 10 gold and field the two Jarvans here. So I've spoiled it already, but also the thumbnail probably spoils it. This is going to be a Sona reroll game. So if you guys haven't taken Seraphim's staff yet, this augment gives you an Archangels, and your Archangels now says, when my unit that I'm on is above 90 AP, they also get 2 mana regen. So it's actually just like a super Archangels that not only gives you AP, it also gives you mana regen along with it once you get to a certain level. And so if you're playing a stall comp, a comp that can last really, really long in these type of fights, which Sona Jarvan does amazingly, then this is a fantastic augment. So yeah, as we play out this last kind of boring fight here, I will say, shout out to everybody who joined my Metafy group. I have opened up a few last slots because I know a lot of people were asking for extra slots. I was honestly blown away by the demand for it. So go check that out in the description. Our first session is going to be today because this video is coming out Thursday. So go check it out if you are interested. Should be an absolute blast. There's a ton of people in the Discord already, just chatting about wanting to improve at TFT, wanting to get better, and all this kind of stuff. I'm really excited for the community aspect of it, to just have a community of people who are really, really dedicated to growing and improving, and then being able to hop in a call with those people every week, get that kind of whole process. So very, very excited for that. Vakio is excited to go into carousel here. I'm a transition beast here because he is first pick on carousel and he can guarantee that second rod here, or the second Archangels really. Double Archangels is the BIS. In general on Sona, it's quite strong, and then this augment just makes it go into overdrive. This means you're stacking up that AP that much faster towards getting to your 90 mark for your augment. And so yeah, BIS on this unit is Archangel, and then you usually want Gunblade as a last item to allow her to stall the fights a long time. So if you guys remember, Zyra #1 fan, who we did a VOD review of this comp before it was cool, was going like JG Nashers type build. People have kind of realized Sona's a stall unit. Any unit that has damage and a heal built in usually likes Archangels as their build because Archangels will allow them to just buy so much time. Unlock E, the pop E here. I guess you have to just buy it. It's not like you can lock shop because you're losing out on a low cost shop. That seems horrible. So I guess you just have to suck it up, and I guess you could not buy the poppy, but I do really want that poppy too later. Maybe it looks like he's looking at not buying the poppy, which is interesting. I will also say, Poppy tends to be a monster in the early game. This is a game where we just kind of teleported to Jarvan too. But if you guys can ever play an early game that's like a Sona, a Jarvan, a Poppy, and then a Juggernaut, and then itemize the Poppy, that Poppy with 3 Demacia and a Juggernaut in is just a monster. So be on the lookout for that on this build. Be on the lookout for Jugs as well. It is quite importante in this comp here. So yeah. One of the other interesting things about this is, last time I VOD reviewed this comp, it was on the Bard patch, and this game we're actually not opting to unlock Bard. Vakio doesn't really like unlocking Bard that much in this comp based on the games that I've seen him play, just with the idea that, you know, if you don't have, obviously if you have something like Trade Sector, you can play Bard, but without something like that, it's really just going to hamstring your early game too much to roll that deep for a Bard, especially because he's eventually, you know, going to come out, no longer be on your board. Rolling down a bit here, I mean, I see a red buff, and then, actually it's a little bit awkward, but it kind of must be red buff, right? You'd almost want to make red buff Sunfire, but obviously you cannot make that, so we'll see actually where the rest of his items go. We have a lot of good tank components, but no good, like, actual tank item. You don't really want to make Gargoyle in this comp here. Reserva de Pandora, Epoca, or Emprestimo Avanzado. Cado? Usually it's Cado in Spanish, but I don't know Portuguese. I mean, I do kind of really like the advanced loan here. We can actually, here, I will pull this up for you guys because it is it's quite helpful in spots like this. So this is Meta TFT's version of this. A lot of different sites have this. Once again, not sponsored, but hey, if you run Meta TFT and you're looking for sponsors, I mean, I'm always down. So what you can do with this, which is really, really cool, you can say, okay, our first augment was gold, our second augment was gold. What is the distribution of the last augment here? It can either be prismatic or it can be gold. 3% out of the 25, it is pris, and then 22% out of the 25, it is gold. You're really looking for a gold last augment here, right? You really want gold to downgrade to silver when you are taking this. And so at a, you know, a pretty small percentage chance, at a 12% chance, right? You know, true natural out of 100, 12% chance to hit the pris. I do think the advanced loan is quite reasonable in this spot here. So you always want to be doing stuff like this to check. Like one example that I saw recently is like a silver here. You're never hitting any kind of like silver thing. So if you're looking at like a silver into upgrade augment, you know that you're always upgrading into prismatic, if that makes sense. So good to look at that with these type of augments. And yeah, he agrees in this spot here. I will say the Crown of Demacia is a great augment in this comp in general, but the upside as well to taking the advanced loan here is that we can just roll down and hit the majority of our board right now, which is really, really nice. The faster you get this Sona, this Jarvan online, obviously the stronger you are. And with one cost rerolls, you want to get this online as quickly as possible. I could certainly see this reforge here and just going to make the Sterax because we have to. I am a bit surprised that we reforged Cloak in what is a pretty AP heavy meta. I would think that you would actually reforge the Chain Vest instead, just because, you know, I think Declaw is just a better, if I had to choose between Declaw and Bramble, I would always build the Declaw, just because usually you'll scout a lobby and there are so many AP players, but Vakio doesn't agree in this spot here. Does pick up the J4-3, which is big here, and we're one off Sona. I actually like this a lot. I like not rolling deeper here because there's still a lot of stuff we have left to find here. The big thing we need to find is Vayne too, because to summon the Galio, you need 12 star levels. You're getting 6 from both of your Sona and your Jarvan, and so then you need 6 from your other 3 Demacia units on 5, which means you need everybody 2-starred, or the ability to push level 7, which is usually not what's happening, or the ability. Yeah, you can be level 6, it's just you need to find a 4 cost there, which is a little bit dicey. So we'll see. I mean, that is a 4 cost with a Steadfast Heart attached to her. Oh, he really, really wants this Gunblade. That's a really cool decision here, and I kind of love it. Guarantee the Gunblade here. We've already burned a rod on Archangels, and so it's actually going to be more difficult to find stuff like the rods in the future here. So he says, you know what, I'm just going to guarantee this. The Lux will come with time, but guaranteeing BIS on Sona is my #1 priority here, which, yeah, I actually really like this the more that I think about it, just because of how important this itemization is on Sona. And you are going to see this Sona, she is going to be pumping with this build here, especially with the Jarvan. I just feel like this board early on this stage is so strong. We do rotate into an insane LeBlanc board, but can Sona, I think Sona's got it. My God, 11,000 damage from Sona. Once we get up to the kind of evolved version of the Archangel's staff, once you get to that 90 AP number, she's just an absolute monster. And I mean, this comp, I love this comp. This is one of my favorite comps of the set, honestly, just because one cost reroll is fun. I really love these type of Healy carries, just because it's really fun to see somebody go infinite. And Jarvan plays so nicely into it as well here. We will also see eventually once we get to Garen, who is a monster tank. I think most people, like I talked about in my original Sona Jarvan video, I think most people kind of would expect that it would make sense to cap around putting your items onto Garen, right? Garen 2 should be a much better unit than Jarvan 3. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind when you are playing this comp, as usually you are playing for the Jarvan. Not sure why exactly we threw those guys in a team planner. Maybe he's just yapping about something. I don't know. Oh, these items are actually, okay, lucky item chest kind of bails us out a bit here, I will say, because without that, our items would look quite disastrous here. You can take the Spirit Visage. This is one of the best items in the comp here. Are you forced to just build a gargoyle here? I mean, yeah, I think you are. I think this makes sense. We can hold on to this bow here for a Void Staff. One of the other really nice things about this comp, we just got fizzed on. He just tried to fizz all over us with that, with the Jeweled Lotus as well. Great builds, great build off the TG. Doesn't matter because Sona's healing up your board. She's a monster. She's insanely tanky with Demacia and makes your board insanely tanky. So it's too easy, honestly. Don't really want heal cut here. The extra HP from boxing gloves here I think is not bad. I mean, it can't be either of these. Obviously, AD Augment and heal cut Augment are untakeable here. Ooh, it must be Exiles, right? I mean, Exiles is just so broken in a comp that gives you a bunch of armor and MR. Oh, and we pull up the Lux here, which means on tempo without rolling once here, we unlock the Galio here. This is huge for us, and this is going to be 7 Demacia when he gets unlocked. This is a perfect spot here. And whoa, wow, yeah, he's actually going to opt to make another Stair Axe here. He actually values the Stair Axe. I mean, not super, super high, but he values it enough to make it in this spot, just saying, you know what, I have really good tank items already for, you know, eventually my Garen, for my Galio and stuff like that. So I really just need to hold this bow for a Void Staff here. We do get echoed on pretty hard here. I think the Galio is going to help us spike our board a lot harder. But yeah, that was actually a pretty rough loss to just a huge echo that kind of cleared our entire board here. He's considering if Arcanist and Defender is better than Invoker here. I would expect yes. I think this is the correct call here with the Lux on your board, just because Defender for Jarvan is quite importante. And I mean, the Invoker is nice, and it's certainly valuable, and you do want to play it later, but Arcanist is, in a similar way, going to juice our Sona up here. And speaking of juiced, you can see just once she's stacked up that AP, once she's gotten to that point, I mean, the board just starts to become unkillable. So there's Void Staff on Carousel. I believe that is our ideal take. Can't get it here, so I'd be looking at like Rod, Cloak, yeah. Just either of these could be Ionic Spark in a pinch, could also be a tank item. Yeah, I think the Cloak makes sense because worst case, it can just be a tank item as well. Gonna level up here, can get the lists in on the board, and we are just going to roll down here to try to upgrade our board. We do find the Garen here. Man, one thing I will say about this guy is he does not use Team Planner. He's just an anti-Team Planner beast. He knows, which I mean, to be fair, is it that hard to see Garen in this comp? I don't know. I think I've become old with my Team Planner ways. So if I like don't have Team Planner, you know, it's like when you do. Actually, I don't wear glasses. I went to the eye doctor the other day. They said I have 20/20 vision. They said the greatest vision you've ever seen. I thought my eyesight was like okay, but then they said 20/20. Like I guess 20/20 is like, it's actually like not that, because like if I'm looking at something really far off, it's still like a little blurry sometimes, but 20/20 just means what? You can see something 20 feet away. What's the other 20? Okay. Anyways, this is our board. We are clearing people. Comment down below what 20/20 vision actually means. This is, you know, instead of using ChatGPT, I'm just going to use YouTube comment GPT. We are still going to rotate. Oh my god, this fight was really close. We almost won versus a quite strong board, but this is that Belveth Gangplank comp that I've talked about. All I will say, by the way, is I feel like when I talk about a comp on my channel, I'm usually a few days ahead of when it actually kind of proliferates into the meta and when everyone realizes that it's broken. I'm usually pretty ahead of the meta, which I'm also, I think in my head, low-key, okay, it doesn't matter. There's the Swain. He is normally the +1 you want to play on this board, and we do have to roll down here for the Garen 2 Lux 2. Most important is the Garen 2 here. This is super important. We do hit the Lux 2, which we must build. Gonna continue to roll. Can't find Garen 2, which is really tragic. We do get Void Staff here, which is going to leave us with the ability just to make a JG here. So made the call to say it's really, really important to get our MR Shred onto this board, which I do think is quite important here. Once again, look at this. Look at the Sona versus Fizz matchup. It's scary, but we win it. The Sona, if you were looking for a counter to Fizz, I got one right here for you in this comp. It is just so easy to avoid all of the downside of fighting a Fizz when you have this Sona here. We are going to move items over. And yeah, actually, I didn't even realize we had the cloak open as well. So we can make Yordle's Pat here, which isn't even bad. Oh my god, yeah. So we can slam this onto Garen for now, move the Sterak's up here, and our board's looking really, really nice. The Yordle Spat, you know, activating 2 Yordle here. The main thing is it just gives you a lot of stats these days. 30 armor, MR, and then like, what, 20 or 25 AD and AP? It's a lot. Pick up the list 2 here, which is really the least important upgrade. You really don't care that much about this. I mean, an upgrade's an upgrade, and on 20 HP, I think you can make this slam here, but it is a little bit scary just because we really still need that Garen, man. This Jarvan is falling off a cliff as a main tank here. You really do not want to be stuck on Jarvan 3 as your main tank going into stage 5 here. Though you can see he's still a bit of a beast here. The Sona healing up here, doing a ton of damage. One more cast, boom! Win that fight. I mean, this comp is so cool, honestly. All right, item on carousel here. Can take another main tank item, something like a Declaw. Ooh, I mean, depending on how AP heavy this lobby is, Declaw looks juicy. He's going to opt to take Vow here. I don't know that it's really going to go on to Swain yet. I imagine that it's just going to, like, the Jarvan items are going to move to Garen, and the Garen items are going to move to Garen. Vice versa. Wow. Oh my god. That is a crazy call, but I think it makes a lot of sense here. Downgrades the list for the Emilio because we need the Garen 2. This is why I was kind of hesitant about making the Lissandra 2, and it looks like he kind of regretted making the list 2 because he ends up having to downgrade her, but at least he got to play her as strongest board for a little while. And yeah, he actually values the Yordle Spat more than a real item in this spot. That's quite interesting to me, you know, more than something like Vow. I mean, it gives a little bit of, I mean, a lot of small stats. It is also giving you 2 Yordle here, which has some HP associated with it. So yeah, he opts to keep the Yordle Spat on there. That's interesting. I would have thought that just any like 3rd real item would be a bit better, but I mean, honestly, it's probably not when you think about how much these spats have been buffed up. A lot of them are like essentially a full item, especially when you include the fact that they're obviously giving you a trait, right? We're getting 2 Yordle onto this this Garen as well here. I don't know what he's, I guess he's looking at that board though. I don't know why he's looking at that board because that's not what we're playing here. But we will take a loss here, lose a little bit of HP. It did take us a long time to find that Garen, so the fact that we are even top 4, I think, is a signifier of how strong this comp is, just because, I mean, if this wasn't kind of a broken 1-cost real comp here, I think bot 4 would be very, very easily in our future here. But we can at least, I guess, roll down next round. Hope to pick up the Swain too, because that's really all we got going for us. To pick up, oh, wow. Okay, so, I mean, in my head, surely a Warmogs is better than some of this stuff. He's actually, wow, gonna open Reforge that. Reforge the Gargoyle, because in this comp, who cares about Gargoyle? That's kind of a crazy call, but I do respect it. And then Declaw gets built here, is going to opt to just slam these items here. So yeah, he likes these items best, and then the Hodge can just go onto the Galio here. Yeah, Gargoyle, a horrible item in this comp, just because you get so much armor and MR from Defender and from Demacia already. So opts to go for the Reforge. I really respect it here. Though I will say, I think this is the end for us. Just a humble top 4, which is essentially what this comp does best, right? It goes for the top 4s. It's a 1-cost real comp, and honestly, the fact that it took us this long to hit Garen, a top 4 is pretty reasonable. But a very good showing of just how to play this line, how to greed for BIS here, the most important stuff to play for, how to think about building items in this comp as well. I think he made an interesting approach to items this game as well, and then really good augments, stuff like Exiles, and obviously the Seraphim staff. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch and Medify on the links down below. Once again, if you guys are interested in group coaching, the session is Thursday, which will be the day that this video is coming out, at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So if it is prior to that and you're interested, go sub, and I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching as always. Bye-bye.